Hey there, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a 2,500 point game of my Orcs and Goblins up against some High Elves, and that's perfect because it works in just right for my Around the World in 12 Games campaign, where this month you have to go up against or play with High Elves. And yeah, just kind of quickly go over his stuff. Here he has 3 Bolt Throwers. Then he has 30 of the White Lions, 12 Sword Masters, 15 of the Phoenix Guard, and in there he has a level 4 metal level 1 Beast and his BSB. He also has 30 of those Sea Guard, another 12 Sword Masters in front of them, 5 Reavers, another Bolt Thrower, and then 20 Archers. And then from my side, I have the Savage Orc Boar Boys. I have the Goblin there with the gigantic spider, the horde of Black Orcs, the Ragnarok. I have 2 Doom Divers, 2 Rock Lubbas, a Chariot, another Chariot, a Troll, the Savage Orc Biggins. Then I have the Night Goblins here with the BSB. There's also another 4 in the other unit that had the Great Weapons, and then Wurrzag. So really, I thought that I should really change up my list, try something where I'm mixing different units, because I am starting to kind of get a little stuck with the same units all the time. And I thought, just for starters, I've had this guy forever, just painted him last year, and I still never used him. So it's about time to get some table play. It definitely isn't smart to have him on a boar, but that's what the model was, right? This is the older one, where he used to be on an old boar. I put him on the new boar, but yeah, we'll kind of see what he does. And otherwise, I got to show you the magic from the other side, because I usually don't do that, but he threw out the cards for me. Is the level 4 has an Enchanted Blades, Final Transmutation, the Trans blah 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 of Lead, Searing Doom, which will only be scary on my really on my Ragnarok, and then of course Wild Form. And then for me, Foot of Gork, Hand of Gork, usual stuff. But the cool stuff about Wurrzag is he also gets Vindictive Glare and Wurrzag's Revenge. So I actually get 6 spells, which should be fun. Alright, so the game we're going to be playing is Dawn Attack, and I'll just cover the terrain as it goes down here. We're going to have a regular building. We're going to have a Settlement of Order, which is going to have the Blazing Barricade and the Elven Waystone. We're going to have a Mysterious Forest over there, which I'll just say now is the one that causes fear, with a Chimerian Quicksand. We have another Blazing Barricade and another forest, which turns out to be a Forest Fungus. Now, I mean, you can see here we're kind of just putting things down to look a little bit more nice than, more tactical. Just having a little bit more fun with it. But just marking out our zones, I won the ability to go first, and I definitely want to take it, just so I can try and shoot down some of the things before they get too threatening. I'm going to put the Ragnarok over on the one side. And, well, I mean, one of the things with this, of course, is that I'm not really getting to pick for a lot of these things. I mean, the Black Orcs are on the far left side there because I rolled a 1. That's just the way it is. One of the things I always do here is I try and get down my blocks first, and then I roll for my bunker, because, if I decide to put my bunker somewhere in the middle, and then something that is leadership dependent, say like the Night Goblins are on the far right, well, then I'm in trouble. And the nice thing is with that center zone, for the vast majority of the time, you're getting it right on a 3 to 6 basically, and you can put them on the far edge to cover the guys in the far zone if needed, right? But anyway, now we're going to be going to his side, so he's going to get to play all his things. And he's actually going to have the archer start here on the one side, so they'll be a little bit more difficult to get to because of all the buildings and stuff in the way. But hey, if nothing else, I can always just ignore the archers. They're not usually that threatening. But then again, hey, if you get those guys into a flank, they can add a lot of combat res. So my opponent here likes these little groups of the Sword Masters. They're not super small. I mean, they're not 6. They're 12. But he always likes sending them in first to really just soften up the target, kill the supporting characters, and then the main blocks can come up behind. So you can see that the White Lines are in the top. The Phoenix Guard with all the characters is behind the building, and then Sea Guard is in the bottom. He has his Reavers here, and I'm really happy, actually, that he didn't get them in the left zone. After I was done deployment, I saw the opening where Reavers could just rush through between those buildings in the settlement and then get to my war machines behind. So I was kind of lucky that if he wants to do that, he has to spend some time going over. But otherwise, now he's just kind of placing all of his bolt throwers. He's trying to be pretty careful to make sure they're more than 6 apart, so it has no, chain reactions of failed leadership. That's kind of a less of a deal for High Elves. We have pretty good leadership. Bigger deal for me normally, but then again, I usually just say screw it. put them together. It's sometimes it's better to keep them all together to be protected than to space them out for panic checks. But whatever. So he is not going to be stealing that first turn. So I'm going to be going first. He's going to be vanguarding up his reavers here right away. Just taking the pictures. But anyway, looking at this, the big thing I'm going to be trying to do is I'm a little bit scared of those white lions. I mean, if I can get multiple stuff on them or something on the flank, and if my war machines can really wear it down, then I can actually deal with it. Otherwise, I'm going to need to avoid those guys. You know, I could Gork them and really smash them, but I'm pretty sure that's where he's going to have the Banner of the World Dragon. So that means they're not really a fair target for that. I really see the right flank, like the bottom, to be really squishy between, you know, like just like Reavers and Archers and the Sword Masters. I mean, like the Sea Guard are okay, but they're really just spearmen, right? So if my Savages can get to them with really anything serious, I should be able just to smash them pretty good. So there he goes. He moves up. First turn, I didn't have any animosity issues except for the Savage Orcs, which had to charge and do nothing, so they're doing nothing. The Boar Boys and the one Goblin on a gigantic spider, they're going to be racing up to try and get to those war machines. You know, everything's really putting on the pressure here. And the nice thing with all those heroes and the Night Goblins with spears is I can always do the double flee to kind of lock them in spot and then place there. Now, my bunker is usually behind, but because of how Wurrzag's Revenge is only 12 inches, I'm kind of trying pushing up with him. I mean, really, if I'm engaging him on either side of this building, I should be safe there, but it's one of those things where I have to be careful not to get too caught. I go for the first spell, fail to cast, and there's my magic phase. So, it happens, right? You try for a small spell, you roll 2 dice, roll a 1 and a 2, magic phase over. So, those things happen. Otherwise, it's fun shoot time. I'm going to try with these rock lobas first to see if I can soften up these white lions. First one's going to scatter, kill a couple of sword masters. Going to be rolling and shooting the other one now, just trying again. Bam! And this time I'm going to be hitting quite a few of them and being able to kill them. Some of them anyway. Of course, I mean, it's only strength 3. We're not talking about something super crazy stuff. But now Doom Divers are going after the Reavers. Left 1, and that's like, that one guy can be so annoying. But he failed his panic test, ran away from the Doom Divers, ran through the Archers. The Archers are going to fail their panic test and go off the board. So that is losing him a lot of points. I mean, the Archers weren't going to be super effective, but still, this is a lot of points that he just basically threw away, right? Because he didn't rally on the double ones, ran off, and he's down 2 units like that. So on his first turn, the Phoenix Guard went inside the building. His 2 swordmen blocks are going to go up to kind of do their thing. Other blocks kind of following suit, except for the Sea Guard, which can kind of shoot from there. And again, that makes it a little bit easier for me because the pressure is off on the bottom flank here, basically. You know, I just have to deal with the Sword Masters threatening my bunker, and the Savages being further back isn't that big of a deal. You know, if I really need it, I also have Handed Gork as well, but I have so many fun stuff, I just want to try it. He got off Searing Doom with Irresistible Force, did 1 wound to my Ragnarok, and then because he's in the building, he gets hit, and then it goes D6 to the unit. He kills like 1 or 2 guys, and then also takes a wound on his mage, so, loses the rest of his dice. It looks like magic isn't going well for either of us so far. He's going to start shooting at my poor little troll there. It's been a while since I took that lone troll, so it was kind of nice to have him back, but it looks like his life is short-lived. So there he goes. Troll is down. Time for the repeater bolt throwers to start shooting. He does 3 wounds to that chariot, and that really sucks because that chariot was going to be going after the sword master there. With 1 wound, I just won't survive. He also hits the spider, the gigantic spider, with 1. Luckily, only does 1 wound, so he could have killed there. So my turn 2, animosity. Oh, look at that. My 2 Night Goblins are fighting each other. So 1, they can't move. 2, I don't get any magic. And 3, I can't even jettison out the characters to redirect and block these swordsmen. So this is a really bad situation. I charge in both chariots into that unit, needing a 7 on the close one, 8 on the far one, and I only get the close one, which had the 1 wound. So maybe I can get really lucky, but overall, this is going to hurt. Otherwise, everything else is kind of moving up. I have to kind of respect those swordmen on the top there. I mean, my Ragnarok would love just to rush over there and start doing some nasty things, but it does not want to fight the White Lions. And if possible, I'd like to soften up the Sword Masters first, because with all those attacks, you know, with needing 5s to wound, he can easily really hurt me. So hopefully I can deal with them this turn, kill off a lot of the bolt throwers, and then I can just kind of pick on the White Lions from there. So I'm going to do some shooting at the White Lions, have some scatters. Then in here, I actually killed 5 guys with impact hits, so that was pretty good. But yeah, like we thought, attacking back, didn't roll a tons of 6s, sorry. So that charried is down, and I was really happy to see him face the other way towards the savages. So on his turn, he's going to charge my bunker, though. I am going to flee, and I only fled 5 inches. So I'm wondering, am I going to be losing my BSB and my general and all my magic? He also charges a chariot up there, also flee. Then he's going to redirect it to the Ragnarok. I'm going to stand and shoot and do nothing. And that's what kind of was trying to avoid, but what can he do? Luckily, the other Sword Masters fail their charge. Now the Sea Guard are starting to put up the pressure. I don't really care if they want to shoot at my savages. I mean, at toughness 4, not a lot of stuff goes through, but hey, you know, every loss is going to matter. Slightly, at least. You know, if I want to use them after against the White Lions, depending which way things go, right at all, it's going to matter. Otherwise, he's going to do some magic here. He's going to try doing the Enchanted Blades, and I'm going to stop that one, because I don't want him to hit my Ragnarok on a 2+. Then he's also going to be putting down the one of my spiders, so -1 weapon skill, and I just double check to make sure he's weapon skill 4, so that I won't be hitting on 5s, and I say, yeah, go ahead, take it, because it's not that big of a deal. I'll be -1 armor as well, but really, you know, I'm being left with a 6+ armor at this point, so it's not really that crazy, and I'd rather save the dice for the other stuff. Especially Wurrzag has the ability where you can save a dice from phase to phase, so, you know, if I can ever save one, that would be really helpful, especially if I actually get a magic phase. So, now we're going to do some shooting. He's going to shoot into my savages, kill a few. Pew pew, no tattoos. And then these evil repeater bolt throwers are going to start shooting. They are really solid machines. Now, he's going to be shooting up first my gigantic spider, kills him, and then he's going to start shooting at my savages. But man, I was rolling those 6+ saves or 6+ wards like they're going out of style. So they're going to actually survive, which they totally do not deserve to be. But hey, I'll take it, right? So now he's going to go and cut up my spider, do a few wounds to it. You know, he could have done better, but hey, I'll take it. Going back, kill a bunch of guys, thunder stomp a bunch of guys. He breaks, and he's going to get away. And, you know, that's kind of all right, right? I mean, at this point here, I can always still charge them, get away from the White Lions that way, kill off the Sword Masters, and either way, it's like I got those points in the bag, right? And I want to be closer over there because, hey, you know, I might use my Ragnarok to kill off a bolt thrower or something as well, right? Because with me losing some of my fast elements there, I might have to try something else. So here we're going to be doing some animosity, everything passed. I'm going to charge in with the boar boys. I think I need a 7 or something like that on the 3 dice. Take the 2 highest. Also, the savages will be going into those Sword Masters. Of course, Ragnarok going into the other one. But those Sword Masters go 11 inches, and they just get out of here. Meanwhile, I roll a 3 with my boar boys, and in the middle of the swamp there, so that kind of didn't help. The Ragnarok just kind of ends up there. Savages, no problem. I want to overrun to either the building or to the Sea Guard. I mean, the nice thing with the building is that, sure, he has some guys in there, but I rally with my chariot. But the nice thing is that if I go and kill enough guys, he has to actually start putting his characters in. So you can actually kind of like... People just don't seem to expect that sometimes. You know, that, oh man, I'm down to 9 regular guys. That means that my character has to go fight as well. And they can go and try and kill him. Meanwhile, you can see how the Black Orcs swung around because they want to threaten the flank of the White Lions. I jettisoned out 2 heroes just to redirect the the white lines there. Otherwise, going to be doing some shooting, kill off a few guys here. I've now changed priorities. Now my stone throwers going to be going after the sea guard, and now's the time I'm actually going to start hitting. And these guys are going to take a beating. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, these guys usually, they can be really dangerous to unarmored things like my savage orcs, and so you really have to take those ranks away so that if the dice do go their way, at least you'll be steadfast. And so luckily, that's exactly what the dice do here, and really do a lot of damage. Meanwhile, those Doom Divers had gone into the building and killed a couple of Phoenix Guard. Like I said, just making it a little bit easier to try and get to characters after. So now we're going to do our fight here. He killed a whole bunch of the savages. Of course, with all those attacks, they're going to die too. And then I overrun 2 inches. And I'm like, oh my god, this could be so bad. But luckily, even that was enough so that the white lions couldn't see. Really, I probably should have put those characters a little bit closer. One of the things you always want to make sure is that they can actually flee far enough to go through the unit to be safe on the other side. But by putting them too far away, there was room for him to wheel around and get to the savages. They were just out of the line of sight. So he charges those 2 heroes. A double flee. He fails the charge. Otherwise, we're going back to magic and shooting. Got a pretty good magic phase here. And I mean, for the most part, the magic isn't anything that's too scary, right? I mean, the Searing Doom is definitely something I need to stop on the spider. You know, now he's down to like half wounds or something like that, so I really got to stop that. He put enchanted blades on the Phoenix Guard, and I think that's no big deal, so I let that go through. Stop the Searing Doom onto my spider. Keep him alive, keep him kicking. See, for me, it's usually pretty easy, right? 6 dice, foot of gore, done. These high elves with their tactics, I tell you. So, now I saved 1 dice because I believe he failed to even cast that last one. And it's, yeah, some fight time here. Oh, no, it's not fight time. Sorry, he didn't fail that last one. No. He did the final transmutation to the savages and killed a bunch of them. So, this is a really big deal because whereas I thought, oh, they're going to have their way now and crush everything, being half the size really isn't good. So now he's going to do his shooting. He's going to finish off the Savage Orc Boar Boys over there. He's going to plink off a few more of these savages. And like I said, I almost don't want to charge with them now because I need to get their numbers up, or at least be in ranks, right? So I almost want to stop, but I roll a 1 and then a 6 for animosity, so they have to move up and they have to charge the closest unit, which is the building. So what I do is I charge the Ragnarok into the building as well. That's going to allow the Black Orcs to charge the flank of the White Lions, and he just can't take that charge, right? He's going to kill a few of me. I'm going to slaughter him back. So he decides to flee. Takes off. I then charge him with the bunker as well, just to get him way out of the way. I mean, I know he's going to rally, but at least now he's pretty much out of the game. So clearly, most of these are failed charges, but the spider gets into the building, and what that allows me to do is that I'll send in the spider and not the savages to save their numbers to make it so that the Sea Guard can't just come in and finish them off. Otherwise, stuff is moving up, and I rally with those 2 heroes, and I decide to go for Wurrzag's Revenge, I believe, here. Oh no, I go for Vindictive Glare, first on the Sea Guard there, trying to reduce their numbers, but he has the Book of Hoeth, so I mean, a lot of times when I do these little 2-dice castings, he can actually stop them fairly easily. Looking back on that, I should have thrown some more bigger spells. I mean, just like throwing more dice to make sure I stop them. But I thought, whatever, let's just try and see what happens. Because you can see here, it's kind of shutting everything down. And when I did get off the Foot of Gork, he just scrolled it. So that was really it. Scattered off with a Rock Lava. Decided to hit a few of my own savages. Next one's going to hit, and it's going to do some pretty serious damage to those Sea Guard. This bottom flank is just us kicking the crap out of each other at range. And then I'm going to start hitting them with the Doom Divers as well, leaving this with 3 models. And that's great, because I mean, now if they want to charge in, they'll just die. And if they don't want to charge in, I'll just kill them with the Doom Divers later. So now we're in a combat in the building. He's going to do some wounds to my Ragnarok, leaving me with 1. I'm going to attack back and kill quite a few. He's going to be down to now just 10 Phoenix Guard plus his characters. So I'm almost there. I'm almost at the point that I need to be. I mean, really, I would have loved not to charge the spider in there. But given what happened with the Savages and with him being in the way of the Black Orcs, I just had to do it. But hey, you know, it didn't work out too bad overall. On his turn, his White Lions are going to rally. And that's pretty much it. So it's going to be magical casty time. And this time it's time for the Black Orcs to turn into gold. So that's going to be unfortunate. But, you know, that's one of the problems with taking a special character like Wurrzag is that in doing so, you have no scroll. And if you want to take another mage to get the scroll, you can. But that's a big investment, especially when you already have 6 spells. So Searing Doom kills the spider. Final Transmutation goes and kills tons of the Black Orcs, well, like a third of them type thing. And otherwise, that's pretty much all he gets done. Then he shoots normally with his Repeater Bolt Thrower, picks off a lot of them. But really, at this point, those Black Orcs are too far away from anything else, so they're only going to be fighting the Repeater Bolt Throwers or maybe the Tower as well. So, my turn, Animosity, everything is good to go, past Stupidity. I charge the Black Orcs to the first Repeater Bolt Thrower. The Savages are going to go to the Tower, because if they're going to die anyway, they might as well crush those guys in the Tower to bring them underneath, the point where he has to use Heroes. The Chariot goes into the woods just to try and get a little bit more cover. I'm going to be moving up my Wurrzag now, so I'll be finally within a foot to try and do Wurrzag's Revenge. That's one where you roll a dice for all the wizards, and on a 6, they turn into a squig and die, and I get to use them as a power dice or just spell dice or whatever. And he says, let's do it, and I roll a 6 for the level 4. Oh, that was so great. First time using Wurrzag, first time with that spell, and I turn a level 4 into a squig. So that is huge. Of course, a whole bunch of points going my way. His magic phase is down to just pretty much wild form. I shoot down the Sea Guard, so I get all those points. I send in some templates into the White Lions, but they just scatter. Black Orcs are going to kill one of the Repeater Bolt Throwers, just run into the other one. And in the building here, he's going to kill off 6 of my guys, and then I'm going to fight back, kill like 6 of his, so it'll be a draw. I actually kind of wish he would have won the fight, because then I'd lose Frenzy, and I could actually flee from the White Lions, but yeah, what can you do? Well, I kind of just hope that I don't get too badly slaughtered, and I can actually run away with something at least. But, you know, like I said, it's really huge now, because now he's down to just 4 Phoenix Guard in that building. He has to fight with those characters. So if I were to go in there with the Black Orcs or something like that, he has to bring in that BSB in that level 1. So on his turn here now, he's going to charge in with his White Lions. That won't be pretty. His magic phase is nothing much to talk about. Has 1 Repeater Bolt Thrower, which is going to kill off my Chariot there. And then otherwise, yeah, he's going to start beating me up there. I'm going to have like 2 guys left after he's done kicking my butt. I'm going to break, the banner's going to die, and the 1 guy is going to get away. And that is huge because I'm saving all those points. You know, that's basically the best thing I could come up with. He does have the Reaver Bow on the BSB, so you try sniping him, but you know the odds are low. Otherwise, I kill the bolt thrower, I charge the building, and I fail. Oh, that could have been so sweet. I only needed a 6 to get there. Of course, don't rally with the single Savage Orc needing 1. I jettison 2 heroes over to do a double flee, move up to try and cast a little bit more magic, and to shoot into the building. At this point here, you know, my Rock Lubas, I'd already sniped off the Repeater Bolt Thrower on the bottom. This turn, I mean, I could go after the White Lions, but it's too late in the game, so I'm not going to really get those points. So I'm just going to shoot the Rock Lub at the one at the top, shooting off some magic to try and weaken off the Phoenix Guard as well, because what I could still do, if I kill enough, if I hit it with the Stone Thrower, I'll do D6 hits at strength 10, doing the the D6 wound multiplier, but all my shooting going into there is going to fail. Both of my Doom Divers are going to misfire and not be able to shoot. So that's why my last shot's going to be going at the repeater bolt thrower at the top. Get those easy points. And then, yeah, we're just kind of finishing off these. I mean, it's one of those things where it's nice that the Doom Diver has its own little misfire table, but I kind of like it if it was just a little bit more standard. Maybe by now I should have it memorized, but it just always seems like, I gotta always check this table. It'd be nice if it was in the back of the book or something like that. But his turn now, he's gonna flee, or charge one. I'm gonna flee. It actually panics my bunker, and so they have to go as well. Then he redirects, I flee. He's going to go and catch that one guy and kill him. And then really on his turn, he shoots the Reaver Bow, misses, and that's the game. So at the end of the day, it was a win for the Orcs and Goblins, and kind of an interesting game there. I mean, one of the things that we kind of talked about that was kind of funny is that the whole idea where I used to always love these Night Goblin heroes because of how, you're spending 34 points for toughness 5 basically and 3 strength 6 attacks. But lately I've just been taking them into double flee, and it's doing way more for me than they ever did before as heroes. It's almost at the point where maybe I should just be not taking great weapons and saving those 4 points since I almost never use them. I mean, obviously you want them so you have that dual purpose, but man, I mean, they just do such a good job of it. As far as Wurrzag goes, honestly, he's not worth it. If I take the other Savage Orc, regular level 4 Shaman, and I give him a Dispel Scroll and I give him a Lodestone, I mean, he's 100 points cheaper, and yeah, basically doing the same thing. Not having that scroll is huge, but you know what? Some of the other stuff is kind of nice. With between the magic resistance 3 and a 5+ ward, you'll have a 2+ ward against any death magic, so that's kind of cool. But I mean, that other one I just talked about has a 3+ ward, so I was like, I mean, it's nice to have the Vindictive Glare and the Wurrzag's Revenge, but is it really worth 100 points? I mean, in a game like this where it killed the level 4, that's awesome and hilarious, but honestly, with the averages, with that happening like, let's say, once every 6 or so games, it's just like, it's a lot of points. But either way, I've had them painted for a long time. I was glad to use them. And you know what? I have a tournament coming up here, and I may actually pick up the version on foot and paint that up because, hey, it could be a little bit of fun. So there you go. Hope you guys like the format here and the battle report, and we'll see you later. Bye.